Hello guys, my name is Srinidhi. I'm an educator on Unacademy. I teach English grammar on this platform. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy Learning app on your phone, and please do check out the YouTube channel as well. So this course is all about basic English grammar part 2. So in this particular lesson, we're going to learn about causative verbs. So I hope this lesson helps you guys. Thank you.
Hey guys, this course is called Basic English Grammar Part 2. So just like the previous course, we're going to pick up a few topics in English grammar and do individual lessons on it in detail, alright? So in this first particular lesson, we're going to learn about causative verbs. Okay, so let's get started. So a causative verb is a verb which is used to indicate that some person or something makes something happen. Yes, this might sound a lot of sum, but please pay attention. It is nothing but a verb. Causative verbs are the verbs which are used in order to indicate that some person or something is making something else happen. That means they're causing something else. They're causing an action to take place. Okay. Now, for example, cause, allow, help, enable, let, force, etc. These are the few examples of causative verbs. That means these verbs are used in order to indicate that something or someone is making something happen. Alright? Now, for example, sorry, not an example. They're also called as casual verbs. Okay, either causative verbs or casual verbs. And then, it can be in any tense. So, just like any other verb, it can be in present tense, past tense, future tense. It can be in any of the tenses and is generally followed by an object, just like the normal verbs: subject, verb, object. Okay, so if you guys have some doubts on objects, please do watch my previous course, under which I've done 2 lessons on direct and indirect object. Okay, now so it is generally followed by an object and any other form of a verb, either infinitive form or participle forms. So these 2 forms also we've already covered in our course. So infinitive forms is, for example, to run, to play. These are infinitive verbs. Participles, the previous course we did present participle and past participle. So if you have any doubts, go refer to that lesson, please. So it can be in any tense. It is generally followed by an object, and it can also be followed by another verb, either in the infinitive form or the participle form, just like any other normal verb. The only difference is these verbs are used to indicate that something or someone is causing something to happen. Okay, now the difference between allows and lets. So allows and lets are the 2 causative verbs, but we all often get confused between these 2. Like, when do we use allow, when do we use let? Yes, these 2 are interchangeable, but the structure of the sentence when you use allow changes when you use let. Okay, so what we're going to learn in this slide is we're going to learn the sentence formation when we use 2 different causative verbs. Okay, now so the first one is allow. Allow is always followed by an object, okay, which is in turn followed by the infinitive form of the verb. So it is subject, verb, in this case it is allow, and then it is followed by the object. It can be either a direct object or an indirect object. When I say object in general, it means both. And then the object is followed by an infinitive form of a verb. Okay, let's see an example. Pablo allows his pet to sleep on the bed. So here the subject is Pablo because the sentence talks about him. Allows is the verb, and then we have object. He allows whom? He allows his pets. So pets is the indirect object, and then pets is the direct object. The direct object is in turn followed by an infinitive form of the verb, which is to sleep. Okay, so whenever you have allow, the verb is followed by an object, and then it is followed by an infinitive form. Okay, so Pablo allows his pets to sleep on the bed. Okay, now look at let. Let is always followed by an object, just like allow. Then the base form of the verb, that means to is evited. Base form is nothing but, for example, if the verb, infinitive form of the verb is to sleep, the base form is sleep. To run, run. To eat, eat. Okay, so that is the base form. So instead of the infinitive form, you have the base form when you use the verb let. So for example, Pablo lets his pets sleep on the bed. Okay, I cannot say Pablo lets his pets to sleep on the bed. No, you might hear people saying it orally, but grammatically it is incorrect. So let's just learn the proper way when we're learning it for the first time. All right, so here is the subject, and then verb in this case is lets, and then it is followed by the direct object. He lets whom? His pets. So it is the direct object, and then followed by the base form of the verb, which is sleep. Okay, now moving ahead. So the most popular causative verb, we think the most popular causative verb is cause, because causative, cause both have a connection. But the most popular or the most commonly used causative verb is make. See, it is a most common causative verb and also differs from the others because it omits to from the verb in active voice but not in passive voice. So active and passive voice is yet another very important topic in English grammar. So I suggest you strongly to go and look into my other lessons on active and passive voice if you don't know what that is. All right, so now make is the most common causative verb, and it is also different because in active voice it omits to from the verb, whereas in passive voice it retains the word to. Let's see it with an example. The teacher makes me read every day. So the teacher is a subject, make is a verb, me read every day. So this is an active voice because subject is in the beginning, it is followed with the verb, and then the object is at the end. All right, so that's how we recognize which is an active voice, which is an passive voice. Now, in this sentence, which is an active voice, which uses the causative verb make, does not have to. I cannot say the teacher makes me to read every day. No, you will hear people saying it, but grammatically speaking and while writing, this is the correct form. Okay. Whereas when I put it in passive voice, object comes at the beginning. So I was made to read daily by the teacher. Subject goes at the end. That's how we recognize or we identify a passive voice. Object at the beginning, subject at the end. So here, I was made to read. I cannot say I was made read daily. No, I was made to read. Okay, so make is the most commonly used causative verb. It is also different because in the active voice it emits the word to, whereas in passive voice we must and should use the word to. All right, now both the cases it implies that someone causes the subject to do something. So that is the main purpose of a causative verb. It causes something, or it implies that someone or something causes the subject to do something. Okay, now so here's an exercise. You guys can take it in the form of the test. Before you do that, please pay attention. Now the teacher explained the lesson. This is a question, and I want you to use the causative verbs like have and get, but in the first person. The teacher explained the lesson. I'll have to start the sentence with the word subject I. Okay, so if you're taking it in the form of the test, please pause the video, do the test. The answers are in the following slide. All right, so now let's do it. The teacher explained the lesson. I have to use have, and I have to use it in the first person. I had the teacher explain the lesson. So I will have to start the sentence with I. Have becomes had. I had the teacher explain, because explained is in past tense, so I'll have to write the verb have in the past tense. I had the teacher explain will not be conjugated in the base form. EXPLAIN. Explain the lesson. All right, now next one. My husband looked after our kids. I have to use a causative verb get, again the subject being I. Since looked is in the past tense, I'll have to use this in the past tense. I got my husband to look after our kids. Okay, here I'll have to use to look. I got my husband to look after our kids. Okay, whereas with have, base form of the verb, with get, infinitive form of the verb. Okay, now next one. The nurse took your temperature. Again, took is in the past tense, so have should be also in the past tense. So the subject being I had the nurse take your temperature. So I've seen in many cases where people use two verbs consequently in past tense. That's absolutely wrong. So I cannot say I had the nurse took your temperature. No, that's incorrect. When one verb is in the past tense, the other verb will remain in the present. So it should be like I had the nurse take your temperature. Since we don't, since we use a base form of the verb when we use have, it shouldn't be to take, it should be only take. I had the nurse take a temperature. Next one. The students stopped sleeping in the class. Stopped, past tense, so get also should be in past tense. I got the students to stop sleeping in the class. Get, you'll have to use the infinitive form of the verb. Okay? Next one. My friend took her car. Again, get. So, I got my friend to take her car. My friend took becomes to take. Get, it goes into the past tense because took it is in the past. Took is in the past tense. Okay? Now, please pay attention. I'll repeat the sentences. I had the teacher explain the lesson in the base form. I got my husband to look after our kids. I had the nurse take your temperature. I got the students to stop sleeping in the class. I got my friend to take her car. Okay, so if you pay attention, with have, it is a base form of the verb, and with get, it is a infinitive form of the verb. Alright, so here's a slide that contains the answers. Cross-check with it and let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts. I'll see you guys in the next lesson with definite and indefinite pronouns. Bye-bye until then.